Welcome back to the Pain Game. Today we are talking the ripple effect of the retirement, of Tyson Fury and how that impacts Anthony Joshua, but not just him, a lot of people. I mean, the promoters must be gutted here because they've put a fortune into the pocket of Tyson Fury and were shaping up to try and do it again. And now, you know, negotiations clearly are at a standstill because he's throwing his toys out the pram. He no-shows at the Ring Magazine Awards, which was clearly an event that was designed to pay tribute to the likes of Tyson Fury and give him credit, but also for negotiation purposes. Anyone was there in order to make these fights happen, and it seems to be working a treat, except for Tyson Fury and Tank Davis, who basically are known to hold belts to ransom, want everything on their own terms, and be a complete and utter nightmare to work with. We had Canelo Alvarez and Alexander Usyk doing selfies there. That was how iconic this award show was. I mean, this is a great photo here. Just so many fighters, promoters, everyone is in this somewhere, and there's a wider version with even more people in. No one has ever brought the boxing community together like Turki Al-Sheikh has, and I love the idea of a yearly award show. They had like the main awards like Knockout of the Year, Fighter of the Year, but I think they could do like individual Fighter of the Year for each weight class, build it out a bit more, maybe have some music performers. I know that this has massive potential to become something that people want to watch on TV every year. You could even get a host to roast the fighters the way Gervais does at the Golden Globes. I'd be up for it, but we just need a lot of security, please. But I would love that for a small fee. We've got Alexander Usyk's acceptance speech here for Fighter of the Year.
If you want to help people, if you want to give smile, give good education, behavior, smile, be happy people. Thank you so much.
You know, when you look at Usyk's legacy, you know, now it just ages every day that little bit better and better and better, especially in the wake of Tyson Fury's childish behavior, which I'll get onto. The guy literally will fight anyone. Doesn't matter if they're 50 pounds heavier than him. He absolutely outstruck Tyson Fury in both fights, and he conducts himself, as we've seen there, with absolute class. He never backs down to a challenge. He never tries all of this shit. He never hurts boxing by holding it to ransom. We're very lucky to have Alexander Usyk as our champion. He is everything a champion should be, man, and he deserves that Fighter of the Year award as much as anyone. Daniel Dubois, however, did get KO of the year.
I just want to say thank you to all the team, my father, for all the hard work, and yeah, to all the boxing fans out there, thank you guys a lot. It's going to be a big 2025.
I love that for Dubois, because I think what a comeback story he's had, and he definitely deserved an award of something for everything he'd achieved that year, because he was a contender for the Fighter of the Year, to be fair to him. He's had an unbelievable year. And actually, I met him in Saudi, and he's really becoming more confident in his speaking, and I think he's feeling like I'm onto something here. Big things are coming, and I can't wait to see Dubois versus Parker in February. That is going to be a banger of a fight. But this brings us on to Anthony Joshua, because AJ was at the award show and he posted on his Instagram beforehand, I'm looking for this guy, with a picture of Tyson Fury at the award show. Clearly there was an idea that we're going to use this moment to start the promo for the year. Not only did Fury not show up and do that promo, he just said, I'm fucking off. See you later. Let's take a listen to what AJ had to say about the potential fight.
Well, it's a fight that I want to see.
Yeah.
Because I'm a fan of boxing, so I want to get that fight underway. When I'm in the gym, in the local gym, everyone's asking me. And the reason why I decided to do some interesting stuff is because, look, I ain't got many years ahead of me. You know, I've had more years behind me. I haven't got that many in front of me. So what I want to do is leave the game with a bang and make an impact. Be outlandish, great character, have fun with it while we're doing it, and go for the big fights. Tyson Fury is one of them.
And look, this fight can still happen. Let's look at this post here about every time Tyson Fury has retired. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Tyson Fury says a lot of things. Yeah, he once said he was going to donate his entire Deontay Wilder purse to the homeless. That never happened, right? So you take everything with a pinch of salt. Someone compared it to, you know, when you have an argument with your mother when you're young and you're like, I'm leaving home. And your mum just goes, all right then, no worries. Like, because you just know. You're talking talking shit. It's an empty threat designed to get what you want. And that's because Tyson Fury, he's never really had to grow up mentally, right? He's a child who spits his dummy out when he doesn't get his own way, as you can tell, consistently. The problem is previously, Fury had the heavyweight title and he was the money man in boxing. He was the person who could draw a lot of money. So promoters really needed him. And I'm not saying they don't need him at all anymore, but he's coming off the back of back-to-back losses. Now other people can bring money into boxing, as we've seen. He isn't as needed as what he used to be. And now he needs boxing more than boxing needs him. And this sort of shit is exactly why boxing probably won't miss him in the way that it should do, because he's a great fighter, but what a fucking pain in the arse he can be. And it's ironic because Anthony Joshua could not be more different, right? Anthony Joshua, when he was beaten by Usyk, as much as he struggled with it, clearly, he accepted it. He was a man about it. And not just that, he really seems to care, and he speaks about this a lot, of fighting the best. He wants to leave a legacy of the guy, well, say what you want about him, he fought everyone that he could have fought. And that's why he's trying to make this fight happen. He doesn't want to waste the last couple of years dossing around, ironically. Whereas Fury doesn't give a shit about that. He cares about narrative. All he cares about is what he's able to say to people in order to do the mental gymnastics of saying, I was still the best, even though I lost. And again, if he fights AJ, as I said in my last video, and he loses, then he can't say that. It's not a case of I was robbed against one guy. It's a case of, well, you got beat by two guys now. Do you know what I mean? And as much as people might make Fury the favourite, as I've accepted, AJ can definitely beat Tyson Fury. He knows that's a losable fight. And I know a lot of people will look at the last performances from these guys and go, well, Fury did all right against Usyk, even though he lost. And AJ got battered by Dubois. But styles make fights. We've seen Anthony Joshua in there with Alexander Usyk, and he didn't get anywhere near as hurt as Tyson Fury did. Usyk is not a power puncher. Daniel Dubois is. And what Daniel Dubois can do to Anthony Joshua does not automatically translate to Tyson Fury can do that to Anthony Joshua. When has Tyson Fury been able to hit as hard and as devastatingly as Daniel Dubois? He doesn't. It's a different fight entirely. And it wasn't that long ago that Tyson Fury got dropped by Francis Ngannou. So let's not kid ourselves in this notion that he's indestructible. We've seen what AJ did to Ngannou, and we've seen how Fury struggled with Ngannou. So it's not a case of the last fight is all that matters. That's all the data we need. That's bollocks. You know, I can easily make a case right now, if Ngannou can drop you, then Anthony Joshua can absolutely light you up like a Christmas tree. If Alexander Usyk can hurt you like that, Anthony Joshua can absolutely destroy you. What we can't do is go, well, if Daniel Dubois did that to AJ, then Fury can. Because Fury's abilities are not the same in terms of punching power as Daniel Dubois. They're just not. And I'm not saying I think AJ is the favourite for that fight, but I'm just making the argument. A lot of people seem to be overlooking AJ's chances against Fury, and I think Fury isn't, which is why he's playing these games right now. We don't know what Fury's motivation would be like coming into a training camp after training his balls off and losing twice against Alexander Usyk. We know for him that has been something of just getting into shape has been something that he has struggled with in the past. That's something we never see from Anthony Joshua. Total professional. So there's plenty of elements of doubt there for Anthony Joshua to have a good chance in that fight. However, if it doesn't happen, well then, it's going to get harder in my opinion, because I think Tyson Fury is a better stylistic matchup for AJ than some of the other options out there. Namely, Martin Bakole. We got this footage of the two big giant men squaring off here at the awards show. Everyone is frightened of fighting Martin Bakole right now. The guy, for his size, has really good technical ability, good power. He can move as well, right? He can slip shots and counter you. He's a really good boxer and he hits hard. That being said, AJ is one of the few who would go, you know what, fuck it. And that's worrying, right? Because I want AJ's career to finish on a high. And I understand that the lure of a fight against Martin Bakole, particularly in Africa, where it is being rumoured that if that fight was made, that's where it would take place, as an ode to the Rumble in the Jungle and the classic fights of the past from Muhammad Ali. I get why he would want that. I get the legacy importance of that for him. Particularly, he's always speaking about his roots, but that's a dangerous fight, and the upside isn't great, because despite the hardcores understanding that Martin Bakole is the fucking truth, the casuals wouldn't give him the credit he would deserve, even just for stepping in the ring against Martin Bakole. I do think it's a winnable fight. I just think it's a very hard fight. Much like Daniel Dubois, right? We've seen Daniel Dubois has already got a win over him. I personally just don't know if he should go back in there with Dubois right away. We've seen them shaking hands, and you know, we love to see this, right? This is two young British men who are representing the sport fantastically well. And credit where it's due, that they're both being very classy about the whole thing. I think that AJ fought his worst possible fight against Daniel Dubois that first time. Technically, he was all wrong. The tactics were shocking. And I think he can only improve in a rematch, to be honest with you. I don't think it'll be as bad as last time. Not that he might still get chinned, but he will be better, in my opinion. But why not have a bit of a warm-up fight? There are options there. You've got Dillian White sitting there for a rematch, who didn't look great in his last outing. Deontay Wilder, same. I mean, the Wilder fight really does make sense to me right now. That's the one I'd be looking at if I'm Eddie Hearn and going, right, if it's not Fury, people have always wanted Wilder. It's a big fight. Fuck it, let's make it. And a confidence builder before a Daniel Dubois rematch makes a lot of sense to me. AJ was also showing respect to Alexander Usyk. Again, we're just seeing the difference between AJ and Fury consistently. How can anyone, you know, support Fury over AJ when they're conducting themselves in just the opposite way? Is beyond me, like. And speaking of Alexander Usyk, I said I was going to talk about some of the mega fights on offer that we've got coming up. I mean, this one.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Everyone online needs a VPN, not only to be safe and secure, but also to get access to some sweet, sweet content. And that is where Surfshark comes in, because a VPN is basically like wearing a pair of trousers outside. All the stuff that you want to keep private stays private. And Surfshark helps keep your whole online activity encrypted so you can browse privately. And you can block ads and travel the world in one click. And say, for example, you're in the UK, you want to watch the 3 p.m. football on a Saturday, but you can't in the UK. But in Spain and America and other countries like that, you can. And that doesn't just apply to sport. You can change your Netflix location to get better Netflix, or watch things like Hulu and other content from America. And another big help is when you're out and about, if you want to do online banking and you're on a public network, anyone can snoop and have a look at what you're up to. But when you use Surfshark, you can mask your IP, so all your traffic is encrypted, which means your personal info stays personal to you. I use Surfshark for all my devices and only on one subscription. You can log into as many as you want, and they have 24/7 support if you need any help. And if you want to get Surfshark, you can click the link in the description or use the QR code on the screen now. And you can get 4 months extra of Surfshark for an unbeatable price. And the best bit is they give you a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there is no risk in trying it out. Just click the link in the description below now, go to surfshark.com/paingame, and you can get 4 months extra of Surfshark at an unbeatable price. So big thanks to Surfshark for the security and that sweet content, but for now, enjoy the video. Alexander Usyk versus Jai Opetaia. Jai Opetaia lighting up the cruiserweight division right now with a brutal knockout in his last fight in Australia. I mean, that was a brilliant performance. And he's going to try and unify the belts, move up the heavyweight, and challenge Alexander Usyk. Now, for me personally, I think that would be a beautiful way for Alexander Usyk to finish his career, his final fight, where a lot of these heavyweights don't have the speed for him. They're a bit too big and he can outwork them, etc. Jai Opetaia brings different problems to the table, and as a former cruiserweight champion himself, Usyk, to have his final fight, let's say he gets past the winner of Dubois and Parker, he would then be undisputed at heavyweight. You would have Jai Opetaia hopefully undisputed at cruiserweight. To make that as a mega fight for his retirement fight would be the perfect way to bow out on an unbelievable career. And honestly, Eddie Hearn was talking up Jai Opetaia for obvious reasons. He's his promoter, he's supposed to, saying he thinks that he's one of the best in the world, and he is. But I think there's levels. And I think Jai Opetaia is a very, very good fighter, great fighter even. But Alexander Usyk is an all-time great. And I think the skill difference would be a major factor in that. And that's my early views. But look, I want to see how Jai gets on in his next couple of fights. Maybe he can show even more in those when he's winning these other world titles. The guy's a fucking savage though, let me tell you. A savage. And he has a photograph of Conor Benn signing to fight Chris Eubank Jr. in a continuation of the legacy that their dads left for them. The dads had an amazing 2 wars, and now we're going to see the 3rd installment of the family feud. And honestly, I know boxing purists are a bit pissed about this because it's like the weight class issue. Conor failed the drugs test a while ago. People are always frustrated with Eubank, to be honest with you. Fuck me. There's a lot of frustration, but this fight is entertainment. Honestly, I can't help it. I love this fight. And the reason being is there's just jeopardy there. Not only have you got your family name, but both fighters have been stalling in their career for a while and not maybe reaching their full potential and not taking big enough fights to do so. Not for the fault of Conor Benn, to be fair to him. I think he wanted those, but he was obviously suspended and, that derailed his career. But Eubank Jr. has never really been putting his foot down on his career, in my opinion. This is a really meaningful fight where both have a lot to lose in terms of status in the game. And that is going to play beautifully into how this fight turns up. Because the stakes are so high, there's no way this is a bad fight. This is going to be a fucking war. It's April 26th, that one, and I don't know the location yet, but that's going to be exciting. Now on to one of the biggest fights you can make in boxing, in my opinion. Canelo versus Crawford. Turki Al-Sheikh finally managed to get Canelo came all the way from bloody Mexico, America, wherever he lives, to this award show in London. And Fury lives, what, two minutes away? Couldn't get there. But anyway, Canelo apparently is in negotiations right now with Turki Al-Sheikh, and you've got to think that this has got to be the first fight on the menu. What a historic fight this would be, especially for American fans. In America, you got his huge fan base, Canelo, from Mexico. If they did this fight in Vegas, it would be huge. Even if they do it in Saudi Arabia, it doesn't matter. It'd be massive because so much legacy is at stake here. I think they're both 4 different weight division world champions. That is crazy. The quality of boxing on show and the question of, could Terence Crawford, with the skill set he has, be able to handle the power of Canelo and keep the respect of Canelo? Because Canelo obviously has a hell of a chin, walks forward, puts the pressure on you. And we've seen against Madrimov a little bit that Crawford wasn't quite as powerful and as effective at that weight class. This is another jump again by a significant amount. But he's daring to be great, and that's what we fucking want as boxing fans. Credit to Bud Crawford for being willing to do this. This is a dream fight for me. Devin Haney and his dad, obviously, were actually apparently waiting for Ryan Garcia as he was leaving the award show.
Came all out here for nothing, huh? You ducking it, huh? Lupe, you done ducked it, huh?
He's just laughing at him. I mean, the idea that Ryan Garcia is ducking a rematch with Devin Haney after he battered him last time is silly. We've seen that. We watched it. What are you talking about? The issue with this one for me is, there's a lawsuit, which I think Ryan says, look, if you drop the lawsuit, I'll fight you. And that seems to be getting a bit of wiggle room now that Turki Al-Sheikh is involved, and obviously you can sort a lot of these egos out. However, the drug testing thing, the one thing I will always back Devin Haney on now is for him to insist on regular drug testing, I think is more than fair. Yes, it may have been an accident last time, and Ryan Garcia, it seems from all the experts I've watched, have said that what he was popping for, A, didn't make any sense to be there, and B, wouldn't have given him any benefit anyway. So therefore, I've got no reason to doubt what we've seen in that ring. But still, if you fail a test, you should be forced to be under more stricter constraints, and I think Devin's got every right to ask for that. Now, one fight that kind of popped off out of nowhere, and with volatile egos like this in an award show, you wouldn't be that shocked. Conor Benn and Ryan Garcia got into a bit of, we're going to all have a push and a pull, as Carl Froch likes to say.
But we can all pull a bat a little bit. Do you want to pull a bat? Have a little pull and a push. Conor
Benn was aggressive in that moment. He was like, I want to fucking fight you. And Ryan Garcia seemed quite calm about it and seemed very confident about it. But that just gave me just a little taste of what the press conferences would be with those two. And I think Ryan Garcia can draw money with anyone, right? As much as people don't like him, and I don't blame them. I'm not saying I'm his biggest fan either for some of the things he's done and said in the past. But the guy's entertaining, and he would get right under the skin of Conor Benn, and we know that they would both bring it for the kill in the ring. And whatever happens after the next fights that they both have, if it's Haney Garcia, Benn versus Eubank, I'd love to see them two do battle, because that would be fireworks. And you know, while we're at it, if I'm doing a little bit of a wish list here, Ben Whittaker versus Liam Cameron, there's a lot of dispute going on between promoters and what show is it going to be on. Whatever, I'd like to see that fight, because I think Liam Cameron did himself proud in the last fight and posed some really good questions for Ben Whittaker to have to overcome and prove that he can do that if he is going to be the superstar that a lot of people think he can be. And I know that's up for debate right now, but I think he's a very talented fighter. And I just love the fact that this is turned from a builder fight for Ben Whittaker into a rivalry. Whenever there's bad blood, we just want to see that. So that's That's last on my list for today. Let me know in the comments below, and I love reading your comments, appreciate you all, about what you think is going to happen with Tyson Fury. Will he come back? If so, will it be the next fight for AJ, or is he going to wait it out? There's rumours of him fucking taking a retirement so no one drug tests him. I don't know about that. But what will happen with AJ? Who would you put in with him if you're Eddie Hearn? Let me know in the comments below, and any other fights you'd love to see in 2025. I really appreciate all the support. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Stay subscribed to the Pain Game YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.